my name is Philip Hatzers. I'm the head coach of Try Training Harder. I'm here to talk to you about some running tips. Today we're going to talk about the 8th and last tip, which is building habits. Now, habits traditionally take around about 66 days to come into normality, so that can be quite a long time of doing something before it becomes ingrained or normal or particularly useful. So I'm going to talk about 3 really good habits for runners which they should have and be aware of. The first thing we're going to look at is that kind of morning routine. In my experience working with runners, very few of them get around to doing the training as well as they would have liked to do if they're a busy individual in the evening. They find it very hard to actually finish work on time, or distraction gets in the way, kids and everything else. So the top tip I would do is start getting yourself out in the morning and build up a really good morning routine before any other distractions start hitting you. And now, what do we mean by good morning routine? So that would mean getting up, making sure you have some breakfast, making sure you are having some fuel throughout the day afterwards as well, but you've got the morning routine, which is wake up, breakfast, mobilisation, get out the door, do your run session, come back again, fuel afterwards, set yourself up for the day. So that first habit is really trying to liberate your morning routine. If you're someone who doesn't like mornings, and you do want to go and do your session in the evening, I'm not going to be the person to tell you not to do that, if that works for you. But make sure again, you have a very clear and good routine. So you've got your afternoon snack all sorted, you're making sure that you're nice and ready for your session straight after work. You're going to mobilise and activate before doing your session after work. Again, if you want any tips on that, we've got a whole host of videos on run warm-ups on our YouTube channel, Try Training Harder. And then finally, you're going to make sure you've got your recoveries for straight after your run session. The second thing we want to do is, we talked about there, is that mobilisation and activation stuff. Some people stretch, some people don't like stretching after exercise, but the most important thing that you want to try and do is make sure that you have a good mobilisation and good activation session as much as you possibly can do on the sessions that you're doing. So wake up, do your mobilisation activation. If you're doing your evening session, do it in the evening, but make sure you're warming up and activating for every single session. It will make such a big difference to your ability to run well. And if you're running well, you've got good posture, everything's moving properly, you're less likely to pick up an injury, you're going to be more consistently running. The final thing, which I think is really important to focus on, is sleep and recovery. Sleep's very, very, very important for training. In fact, there's studies out there which indicate that if there's a choice between sleeping or running on the session that you're trying to do, or do an extra session, you should never have to choose between the two. If you don't choose sleep, then the session you're doing is not going to be as good as it possibly could be. And if you choose sleep and not doing running, obviously you're not going to go training either. So there's sort of a payoff. But it should be that you have sleep built into your habit and built into your routine, because that will make sure that your body is recovering. That's the only time your body is really recovering. It's going to make sure that you're going to be ready for the next day. It's going to make sure you're going to be motivated as well. So don't take any shortcuts in sleep. Build a habit around your sleep so that you can get your required number of hours. For some people that might be 9, for others that might be 7, but whatever it is that works for you, make sure you can build that into your routine. And then from that, you'll find that the training becomes a lot easier to fit in. It may be a big change to you, it may be difficult. That's why I said earlier, I prefer athletes doing the morning sessions, or I find a lot of athletes find it easier to do the morning sessions because they can set themselves up saying, I know I'm getting up at 5:30, I'll be running at 6, I'll be finished at 7, and they've got that routine in, which means they can go backwards by 8 hours, and then they know that they need to be in bed by 10 o'clock to make sure they've got plenty of time, or 9:30 to make sure they've got plenty of time in order to be getting 8 hours of sleep in, get the breakfast in, get themselves out the door and be ready to go. So the 3 habits for you is going to be, try and make sure you have a good routine around your training, include your fueling before, during if it's a particularly long run, and after your run as well. So make sure you've nailed in your fueling around that routine that you're setting up. And then second one, make sure you've got a mobilisation and activation part of your run. Don't just run out the door and just go running. Make sure you take your time to do good movement, 10-15 minutes before any run. And if you're struggling for time, you've only got an hour, that means your running goes for 45 minutes. You don't run for an hour without warming up, because you'll find you'll be able to last in the sport for longer. And thirdly, make sure you do really prioritise sleep when you're doing lots of training. It'll make a big difference to your performance, and you will find you'll be performing better as a result of sleeping, not just in training, but also in the rest of life's activities as well. Final point would obviously be, it takes a long time. This could be over 2 months of progression in order to build something as a habit on average, but this study showed it could be even longer than that. So enjoy.